present the new Talk of the Town live. And
it's Tuesday, June the 8th, and we are live again. John Harrod and friends here on Cogeco Community TV 6. Another very exciting show ahead, still ahead in a couple of moments. They've been so good to drive all the way from Florida, even had car trouble in Ohio here, folks, but they made it. She's originally from Sarnia. We have authors Nicole and John Clark, author of the very fabulous book called Oceans of Emotions. Also, Ken Stothers, he promises not to fall off the couch tonight here, folks. Executive Director of the Huron House Boys Home, to talk about the run, walk, bike, Blade, all coming up on Father's Day, and we have a very exciting concert coming up this coming Friday night, live from the Clearwater Red Arena. Lynn Bouchard from the City of Sarnia will be here to talk about the kickoff for Kids Fun Fest, and we'll actually be chatting with Baby Spice from the Spice Girls. Well, that's actually the cover group. And also the gentleman who plays Brian in the Backstreet Boys from Backstreet's Back, that tribute group as well. Also, coming up here in a moment, we have Richard Poor from the Imperial Oil Center for the Performing Arts. What's hot for this summer at the theater? And also child behavior specialist and Ron Morrish, who's driven all the way from just outside of St. Catharines to be with us here this evening. You've heard him Tuesdays, this morning, as a matter of fact, at 9:20 on the Fox. Author Ron Morrish. Now, this is what we're going to do here. The phone lines will be open right now at 332-8255. That's 332-TALK. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns with your kids, you can call Ron and ask him any question. He's written the best child rearing book I think I've ever read, and that will be coming up here. 332-8255. First off, I don't know if it's as hot as it is in Florida, but welcome, Nicole and John Clark. Thank you very much for driving all the way from Florida.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. This is great. Now, let's talk about these two books. You've written both books. First one, Adventures in Dreamtime here, and John, you've done all the graphics on both of them, and I got to say, they just blow me away.
Thank you very much. I am l'artiste, I guess you could say, and I have a lot of ways of creating these books, and one of the main things I use is a computer. And sometimes we've gotten people saying, oh, I use a computer, no wonder they look so good. And then we tell people, now look, I don't have a computer button where I actually push the button and then the book comes spitting out. You know, it's the years and years of work, just like any other medium of artwork, and it's fun and exciting. I love doing it that way.
But your background is artwork.
Oh yeah, I've done everything from 45-foot high wall murals to small oil paintings and art shows. It's just, you name it, I've done as far as art goes, and it's just, I caught on the computer about 4 or 5 years ago and just love it. I love using the computer to create artwork, and now I blend everything that I do into the computer to output things like this.
Now you two are a fairly young couple here. I mean, you're in your early 30s.
Yep.
You look much younger than that though. And you don't have any kids.
Not
So
yet.
why did you decide to start writing kids books? I mean, you two really seem really rooted in how children feel about themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, one of the reasons why we created these books was because we knew when we were in high school and in grade school, as we got older, we realized what was missing and what we really wish we had learned when we were young. And we looked out in the stores for this type of material, emotional intelligence or emotional education for kids. So children know what to do when they feel angry and how to deal with their fear and their sadness, and that all those emotions are okay. And since it was missing, we thought, well, we choose to have this for our kids when we do eventually start a family. So that's why we went ahead and created the books.
You know what's so nice about you two is that you already have a big head start on all of us, because most of us as parents, when we have kids, we don't really know how to bring up our kids. The only way we learned how to treat our kids was the way we were treated when we were kids.
Right.
And a lot of times, a lot of that wasn't right. Not to say that our parents didn't do a good job of raising us. I mean, I'm still out of jail.
Well, I'm sure, I mean, parents do the best job they can do. And
yeah, with what they have.
With the tools they have.
Time.
Yeah, and all we're doing is we're saying, hey, there's Windows 98 now. You can upgrade your software for raising your kids. And we're actively learning that before we have kids, and we say a lot of other people can do the same thing. And if people already have kids, they can, if they're open-minded, they can look around for, say, new tools, new techniques, new books, new things that'll help facilitate having a fun, happy family. And that's what we're all about. Because our books, we made them so that they're fun, they're stories, and they're a great way for parents to start talking about emotions and feelings with their kids, and also give a couple of really useful tools to their kids as well.
You're not as old as me. I'm way older than you two. But, you know, a lot of ways that we were brought up, even people my own age, a lot of it goes back culturally, and a lot of it goes back to the way our parents thought when we were kids. And most of us really, I don't think we're allowed to really feel the way we've you know, really felt. It was like, come on, don't be such a wimp, you know.
Yeah, especially for men, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially for guys. It's like, you know, job, come on, chin up, you know.
Yeah.
And men aren't supposed to cry, boys aren't supposed to cry,
exactly.
you know, and that's so wrong.
Yeah, and for girls it was, it wasn't okay to get angry in public and express your anger. So a lot of girls stuffed it, or, you know, they just didn't deal with their anger and would just ignore it for as long as they could, and it builds up over time.
I think the Dalai Lama came up with probably one of the greatest quotations. He was talking about how North Americans are so concerned about the mind
and education.
But they omit what's in the heart.
Yeah, we cut that article out of the paper actually, and we saw that and just thought.
We said, yeah, all right, that's us. Let's educate the heart.
America, listen up.
This second book, The Oceans of Emotions, is such a fabulous job. You've done such a great job at writing, and John, the artwork. It's a story about Destiny the dragon, so maybe Nicole, you might want to tell us a little bit about the storyline.
Okay. Destiny Dragon is on a sailing ship voyaging home from across the sea, and she falls into the ocean of emotions and ends up at the bottom of the ocean because she's feeling she gave up, she can't go on, and she thinks she's never going to make it home. So during her adventure from the bottom of the ocean, she encounters all these beautiful sea creatures, and each one has their own unique personality. There's a pirate crab who John does a really good voice. He has and there's Mr. Griefy Grouper, and there's a shark that teaches Destiny about forgiveness. There's a puffer fish that teaches Destiny about pain. And throughout her journey, she learns how to accept each emotion she feels, and that it's a guidepost. It's teaching her something, offering her a special clue about life, and eventually she winds up back home with her parents.
Now your book was, you talk about perfect timing, because your book was actually out before the shootings in Littleton, Colorado. But you two have taken a very proactive stance on this, and you've even helped out with the elementary kids in that community.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we, John's cousin actually goes to a school in that area, so we sent out 20 copies of Oceans of Emotions to the elementary schools with a letter, and since then we've received letters of thanks and praise from the students there. Teachers, parents have called us.
One of the coolest things about it is that I guess some people read the book and they don't necessarily get that there's like a deeper message here. And we even sent it with 3D glasses so that it's fun, so that anybody, even if not interested in the emotions, the kids are going to buy it and they're going to enjoy it. But what we found with the Littleton, with the letters, or the response we got from the books, is that they know exactly what the book's about, and they know exactly how to apply it. In one school, the principal read the book to every single class in the entire school. And
then they wrote us this giant letter. It was too big to bring here. We didn't want it to get ruined. And at the end of the letter it said, "Thank you for the timely message in your book. It has helped us to begin to heal." And just that last sentence, we felt so overwhelmed and so glad. Yes. Thank God that, it came in handy for them and it was useful.
Okay, again, I'm going to come back to the fact that you two don't have kids. So myself as a parent, when the Littleton shooting took place, I think it was a huge wake-up call for every parent in the world. And it's time that, when we start sitting back and taking our own inventory about, our own kids, and are they safe? How did you two feel, without having kids?
Well, for me, it was just shock, real shock, and then also a lot of grief, because, I mean, I've been teaching adults about emotions for over 10 years now, and that's really where this material came from. And I do seminars with adults, and sometimes some of the adults, for the first time in their lives, they learn about feelings. They learn about something that they feel.
Okay, now very quickly here, you're going to be on the Fox on the My Morning Show on Friday, and you're also in town. You're doing a couple of book signings, and you're also going to be visiting some of the kids at some of the elementary schools around town.
Yeah, on Saturday we're going to be at the Bookkeeper from 1 till 3 doing book signings.
Yeah. To
autograph and sign this book.
Fabulous, fabulous book here.
And Paradigm the Dragon will be there in costume.
We will have the dragon.
Oh, excellent.
He'll be visiting as well.
Well, I'm glad you made it, and I'm glad you were able to get past the car trouble in Ohio. And thank you very much for driving all the way from Florida. And I know that you're visiting your folks here in town. And thanks very much.
Thank you for having us on your show.
And John Clark.
It's awesome.
It was nice to see you again.
All right.
Still ahead, if you have any questions about child rearing and any problems or any rough areas, 332-8255 is the number to call, because we have child behavior and specialist and author Ron Morsch coming up. Still ahead.
on TMN.